And welcome to CTLE's Tech Tip Tuesday. Today we will be looking at D2L's Creator Plus authoring suite. We hope that our tech tip overview will provide you with insights and inspiration when you are in the midst of your course development and design process. We encourage and hope that you can follow along with us within your own sandbox course on D2L to experience the tool. If you are unable to find or you haven't been issued a sandbox on D2L, please submit a request help ticket with the CTLE and we will remedy that as soon as possible. Let's visit our demo module. Creator Plus is a D2L tool that allows you to create learning experiences for your students in your courses. D2L integrates the tool within its HTML editor to make designing the experiences quick and easy. We will dive deeper into this later. Creator Plus offers many tools for courses, such as inserting various content elements, learning practices, media captures, and video captures, and also provides pre-built templates. Creator Plus provides a gateway where students can become more engaged with the content and improving comprehension while learning. The tools are meant to be comprehensive and allows for faculties to create their experiences rapidly. Let's take a look at the possibilities. Here, we've used Creator Plus to showcase content in different ways for students. For example, we use the Creator Plus timeline element to add a timeline into the page. Adding the timeline will let students visualize the content in an organized way and break down what could have been a long text passage into smaller digestible bits of information. You'll want to head to the drop-down menu and select HTML to add a Creator Plus element to the page. There, you'll want to select a preloaded D2L page template to start. You'll want to select a preloaded D2L page template to start from the Select a Document template menu. Once you have, you can now start building your content page. While designing your content, find a place where you would like to insert the Creator Plus tool. Select the Plus menu to find the Creator Plus suite. Select Insert Element. Here you can see all of the Creator Plus elements you can add to your page to engage your learners. Select the timeline. In this screen, you can add the content and media you want in your timeline. You can add more panels as well. When you're done, go ahead and add it to your page by selecting Preview. You can also edit the element again later on by selecting it. Click on that edit icon and it'll return you to that editing screen where you can update your information and keep your content up to date. Select Preview and Insert, and it's now within your content page. Don't forget to save and close your work. Here's another example of a Creator Plus element, the stylized quote, if you would like to include quotes in your content. And also the click and reveal element. This feature can prompt students to pause and process, then dive deeper into more information, or even pause and reflect on a question regarding the content. For example, who is Madame Curie? allow students to pause and reflect on the question, then click on the Click and Reveal feature to learn more about who Madame Curie is. Creator Plus offers other elements that can be added to your content, such as accordions, tabs, call out, flip cards, carousel, and hotspots.
Great. I'm going to walk you through how to create hotspots and sorting activities. So first, I just want to give you an overview of what a hotspot and a sorting activity could look like active on one of our templates within Brightspace. So here we have a hotspot. In here, what we do is we take an image and then we make certain portions active. So the student can click on these little hotspots and it gives them more information. See, it gives them more descriptions of what each section in here is. And then up here, it gives them for accessibility if they need to use their keyboard. It gives them directions on how to use the hotspot element if they are using a reader and their keyboard. So that makes the hotspot accessible. And then further down on this page, you'll see a sorting activity. This is a drag and drop. Now, typically in the past, with the programs that we've used, we haven't been able to use the drag and drop. In here, in Creator Plus, we do have a accessibility feature in here. So the students that are using the readers and have to use their keyboards can actually effectively use those for this drag and drop activity. And you can kind of see that they can use the little arrows here. They can also drag them if they choose to. They have options. And then you can have them check answers. And within here, you can provide feedback. It will tell them it's incorrect. Their will feedback option can pop up. They can do that as many times as they wish. There is no limitations. They can continue to use the try again function. Within the instructions, there are standard instructions that are set in Creator Plus when you pick different activities. You do have the option to, of course, change those if they don't apply, but they do have it standardly set up for the layout that they have, which is nice. You don't have to worry about coming up with new instructions. Another feature in here is just a block text that you can add from maybe a quotation. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to create either of these. So if I want to first go into creating a template, we go back to our module, we go to new, create a file. From here, we're going to pick which type of page we want to work with. I'm going to go with just a simple basic page. It gives me this general format with some information as to what to put on these type of pages. All right, so in the first section, I am going to go ahead and I am going to add an element. So again, if you are trying to add one of these elements from Creator Plus, you'll hit that little plus button at the top. You will then click Insert Element. And here, we're gonna scroll down. You have all these great options, but we're gonna work with hotspots. So we're gonna click hotspot. And then we're gonna need to add an image in here. So I am going to add an iStock image that I have in here, and I'm going to provide an alternative text for the image. And I'll go over these a little later on how descriptive you want to be, but you want to give it a lot of information. If a student is not able to see the image, they need to have this alt text to know what is there. So I am going to put sun mountains behind. Okay. Sure you kind of click out of that so you can see the save option. All right. All right, so now I have an image in here. I have this Apple image with a building behind it, slightly different from the alt text, but I was just playing around with how descriptive to be. And then in here, you can, within the element, you can kind of select where you want your hotspots to be. So I can say maybe I want a hotspot in here to talk about the building. And then maybe I'll say building. Okay, you can also change what you want the marker to look like. You can choose a number, you can choose plus sign, check, the circle. You can also change the color. So if you're going with a certain color scheme, you can pick any color within here. You can, if you know a hex number, you can add the hex number. Just gonna click purple and I'm gonna save. You can see all of them turn purple, so you can see what they might look like. I'm gonna just continue with this marker and then I'm gonna preview just to see what it might look like. So I clicked on it and then it says the building is tall, okay. So I like the way that looks. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna save and insert it into my page. So if you need to change the accessibility to be accessibility hotspot only, and you want to give them for more information, or you want to make it fully accessible, which would be if you had an image that had a lot of different items within it that you really needed to break the image in and make it more accessible so the student knows what's in different sections of the photo. So in here, it's pretty standard. It's a building with an apple in here. So I don't need to necessarily add extra columns or rows, but you can do that. You can make it more broken down. I'm just going to say it's an accessible hotspot only, and then my micro alt text is going to be a toggle. Say, you know, a glass tall building, you know, however you want to word it, and then we're going to save and insert. And then save and close so you can see it active. I'm going to name it. This is the title. And then within here, you can kind of see what it looks like now active. Again, this is already inserted for you to make it accessible. You've got your hotspot, your information popping up. So, and you can add as many hotspots within the image that you choose to. All right, so now we're going to add another element. I'm going to go back into my drop down and edit my HTML. I am going to click my plus and I am going to insert some practice. So as I showed you earlier, a sequencing activity. So I'm going to click sequence. And then in here, you have all these different information you can put in here. And as I said earlier, it does become kind of standard. You can see the short description, the text will display to the learner. So these are all kind of set in here. You can choose to add feedback if you want, and you'll see that that's optional down here to give feedback if they add the correct information or feedback if they have incorrect information. You also have the option to add, you can add images into here too. If the image is, the only way we click on image is decorative, if it really serves just as a decorative purpose and the student may not need extra information for the image. Again, we're looking at the accessibility factors. I'm just going to click that, save, and then you can see my image is in here. So you can do images for both sides if you choose to. And then you can preview, see what that looks like. You can close, you can then insert, and you'll see it active on your page now. Now, sometimes as you're first looking at it and it's not completely saved and closed out of the page, it'll just have a little question mark, but once you save and close, it'll become active and you'll be able to see what it'll really look like to the reader. It's up here. Okay, we're going to move that down. It went into the header. Okay, so another great function is you have, if for some reason you end up adding things where they don't need to be, you do have that little down arrow that you can click on the item and then you can do a few things with it. You can either edit it, you could trash it, delete it, or you can move it up and down. So I want it down further. Down arrow, okay. All right, so let's see if we can preview it now and see what it looks like. It is right there, okay. So, again, the special instructions for sequencing are already embedded in here. You can choose to edit those and add more information. We have the accessibility over here. We have the check answers. You can add that feedback if you choose to. Again, they can try as many times as they want within here, which is great. Okay. So while we were talking about alt text earlier, kind of just wanted to give an overview of what alt texts are and the importance of them. So here's an example of some effective alt text from different types of images. So here we have a scene, a landscape photo. We've got the mountains, the sun is coming up. There's a little bit of mist or fog coming in the mountains. So what we want to do when we put in that alt text for the students, we want to give them as much description as possible. You never want to start it with this image is. Just go directly into the description of the image. So a great alt text for here is a landscape view of dawn, golden light, sunrise, and mist flowing through the high mountains of the forest. So you can kind of close your eyes and listen to that and visualize exactly what that would look like. So that's our goal as an alt text. Here we got a woman who is speaking at a conference to a group of people. So a great alt text here might be a female speaker presenting at a business conference. So if you close your eyes and think, okay, I see a woman and she's speaking at a business conference. So you think, she's at a conference, there's probably a lot of people sitting there listening to her. Okay, now is a pair of red running shoes. So to add an alt text to that, to get a little more detailed, we might say red jogging sneakers for jogging, isolated on a white background, sports shoes, modern fashion. And then it also says that the file contains clipping pads. So that just gives it a little bit more detail. For food here, we've got a plate of spaghetti carbonara. Okay, so adding a little bit more to that, you can see there's some garlic bread over here, so we added a little bit more of a description. We could even add more information about there being Parmesan cheese and parsley on top. All right, charts and graphs. So here is a bar chart showing quarterly sales growth, okay? Showing growth. So an alt text for that might be percentage symbols and growing arrows. Interest rates continuing to increase, stocks, mutual funds, investments. So you might get more detail depending on exactly what information it is showing to you. And then lastly, we have that image I showed you earlier where there was like a glass building with our Apple logo. So great alt text is glass building of the Apple store with huge Apple logo at the 5th Avenue near Central Park. The store is designed as the exterior glass box above the underground display room. So this is very descriptive. We may not know all that information unless, we've gotten it from the original source. A great way to find good alt text when you are finding images, potentially, I found this on iStock. iStock gives really great alt text descriptions for each image. So finding those and copying those over for your alt text will work great. Resources to help you get the most out of Creator Plus, you're in the right place. Just visit the Center for Teaching and Learning's website. Under course development, you'll find a tab for Creator Plus. Within here, you'll find additional helpful resources that'll help guide you. If you need any further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to the learning designer you're assigned to. We're always here to help with any questions or support your needs. Remember, you're not alone. There's a whole team here to support your success. Happy creating.